Hey y'all, thanks for stopping by. So, I've been seeing some discussion online the last couple of days. We're going to talk about some heavier topics today, or at least I'm going to touch on self-harm and suicide. But the topic is about firearm ownership among a specific community. And it seems like this started with a Twitter post from a creator, Samantha Lux. She posted on Twitter, "This might be a hot take, but I think all trans women should own a firearm." And this started a fair amount of discussion. But one thing that I saw that made me want to make this video was someone who said, and a lot of people agreed with, that trans women, trans people, shouldn't own firearms because of the suicide rates in the trans community. And frankly, I think that's ridiculous. If you're really looking at stats when it comes to those rates with firearms, it's not trans people who do that the most with firearms. If you look at the stats, it's actually white men who kill themselves the most with guns. So if you want to talk about using stats to limit somebody because of things like that, then mine should be taken. Again, if you're only looking at stats to do something like that. Now, on a personal level, I have clinical depression. For most of my life. I think I was diagnosed when I was 14 or 15. And I used to have those thoughts a lot. I would say an unhealthy amount. Some people will say that everybody has thoughts like that, but, I'd rather I didn't. But it happens. After I purchased my first handgun, that I still have, I noticed that those thoughts went away, or they limited a lot. It just didn't happen as often. And I think for me, the reason that happened is because I knew the option was right there. That I knew that if I really wanted to, that I could do that. And something weird happened when I made that connection. I started to appreciate life more. I started to enjoy things more because I knew that if I really wanted to, there's my option. There's my ticket out if I really wanted to take it. And it's weird because, like I said, ever since that's been in my nightstand, I don't think about it as often. I'm not saying that's going to work for everybody. I wouldn't say buy a gun to fix your depression. That's horrible advice. But that's how it worked for me. My personal feelings on firearm ownership, I don't think it's for everybody. I think that, at least within the United States, we all have that right. But I don't think it's for everyone. There are some people who, it's just better off that they don't have one. But that's a personal choice. That's up to that person, whether they want to do that or not. You shouldn't try to limit somebody's ability to purchase anything just because of stats. I don't agree with that. Because again, if you want to look at the stats of things, it's white men who do it the most with guns. So, who should we really be taking them from? If that's your logic behind it. As far as just personal gun ownership, I think the most important thing with something like that is just practice. Understanding what you have and how it works and how you use it. Personally, I don't think of firearms as anything more than a tool. And I know that some people will say that has a negative connotations, but it serves a purpose. It has a reason, it has a function for how it works and why you should use it. I wouldn't use a hammer to tighten down a bolt. There's a tool for that. That's how I look at my firearms. I don't just like I don't want to have to work on a washing machine or fix a dryer, I still have the tools and know how to use them to complete that task if it needs to be done. That's the same way I look at firearms. And just like with handguns, with any kind of firearm, much like with tools, you need to know how to use them before you do, or you'll end up hurting yourself or other people or what you're working on. I wouldn't trust just anybody to use my tools because they might hurt themselves. Same reason with firearms. I wouldn't trust just anybody to have my pistol. But if I know that they're capable, if I know that they're aware of what they're using, what's the difference between handing somebody a hammer? You could use that hammer to hurt somebody just the same as you could use that handgun. As long as you know what tools you have, everything's fine. But yeah, basically the main point I want to make with this is don't try to limit somebody's ability simply because of stats, because those stats will be used against you and then you won't be very happy about it. Y'all have a good day.